Hello, Meoni here and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV. I finally did it. I went and did my Minion achievements for Lord of the Minion. Recently, the Make It Rain campaign has been put on, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to make some extra MGP at the same time as fulfilling one of my long-term goals. The long-term goal for me as a minion collector was to get the Penguin Prince minion. This minion then, if you're not sure, is actually obtained through the Road of the Minion 1 achievement. This achievement basically tells you to complete 4 different Lord of the Minion tournaments inside the Gold Saucer with double-digit victories. That means 10 or more victories. What you probably didn't know is that you could do this with NPCs as well as players. Or if you did know, then you probably know where I'm going with this. So before we look at the actual minion, if you want to skip on later in the video in the chapter section, feel free. There's a quick little guide that most people already know of how to do this efficiently. So let's go straight to that. Okay, onto the brief strategy. Most of you probably already know this, but the Minion of Light and Fafnir minions are very good for Lord of the Minion. There are lots of other alternatives that you could probably go for, but these are the ones that I used. So I spawned 6 of my Fafnir minions because they're nice and quick, and these are going to be my gate destroyers. I'm going to spawn these on C. Once these have spawned, I send all 6 of those Fafnirs to Gate C and let it destroy them. At the same time, as soon as those spawn, I'm also spawning 6 Minions of Light. The goal here is to spawn 6 Minions of Light on all 3 of your starting areas. So 6 on C, 6 on B, 6 on A, and you send them forth. It doesn't necessarily matter if you're interceded by the enemy in this process. You know, you're going to lose some enemies here and there, but for the most part, stick to the strategy. Try to brute force it as much as possible. When the first gate is exploded, move your Fafnirs over to the second gate, and then finally the third gate. This actually stops them having sufficient reinforcements to actually pose any kind of threat. Even if some of their monsters do actually kill your Minions of Light, you just simply spawn more of them. It's not a big deal. This has about a 90% win rate from what I've experienced, and that odd 10% of the time you will hand like a draw. It's very unlikely you will lose unless you're doing something wrong. The quicker you are with moving these things, the better your chances are. Remember, the quicker you are, the less chance it is that they might spring, reinforcements on you that you just don't have anything to handle. There is, of course, the variable of having different minions that are stronger against the minions you have. It's just part of the course, but if you still play to your strengths and stick to the strategy, there shouldn't be any big deal at all. And like I said, I've done this basically for 4 tournaments over the course of time when I've remembered to do them, and it's resulted in me acquiring the minion. It's worth noting here that once all of the gates are dealt with, obviously bring your Fafnirs back in a curve to attack one of the towers and help your minions out. It's as simple as that. If you've lost loads of units, then simply spawn more, either Minions of Light or Fafnirs. It really doesn't matter too much, but obviously make sure you have some Minions of Light so that you can use your ability to actually reduce the damage taken if things look a little bit dicey. Either way, this combination should be more than sufficient to deal with 90% of the opponents that you can come up against. In terms of if this would work in a player versus player situation, the answer is definitely no. Anyway, let's move on and look at the minion itself. Summon your Penguin Prince minion. An empire awaits. This Emperor Penguin fledgling dreams of one day ruling his own empire and has set off on a journey to seek the loyal subjects who will make up his imperial court. Or at least that is what the Gold Saucer attendant who found the flightless Cloudkin claims. The hidden text when you highlight over the patch of the image here says, "I'm no prince, I am but the privileged brat of an empire." Quote there of Tataramu. So in terms of reactions to emotes, it only reacts to one of your emotes and does not require a pet collection title on your character. A simple hand over emote will get it to eat from your hand. And that's about it. This is back from the days where they didn't have engaged in interactions with various emotes, and the Mammutier pet collection title or any of the pet collection titles don't seem to have any effect on that either. I've trialed poking and petting it repeatedly. There is nothing to be had here other than the generic minion waddling around, nor can you beckon this However, it does do an idle animation on its own, where it sort of flaps around a little bit. That's basically uncontrollable from what I can tell, but he looks pretty happy when he's doing it, so I guess that's a thing. It is a cool looking minion. It's definitely not one of my favorites in the game, but it is one of the rarest simply because of people not wanting to do Lord of the Minion. There are things that could be, changed in Lord of the Minion to make it much more exciting, but honestly, they're too long to list here. Anyway, if you do enjoy Lord of the Minion, let me know in the comment section, and if you've got this one yet, which most people did, apparently, when I talked to them. Anyway, I thought I'd share this journey with you as I collect as many minions as I can. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.